This is your Dogecoin update for shortly after about 10 o'clock on the West Coast. I'm live here on a Sunday, Saturday Night Live at Elon Musk. And the Dogecoin movement happened yesterday, but a surprise instead of a developing news that could shoot Dogecoin to the moon and potentially $1 as major extrinsic and intrinsic value could be embedded because of a major deal that could give interest bearing accounts a tie-in with Dogecoin. I have all that breaking news this morning. One of the number one critical statements people always say about Dogecoin is, what can you do with it? You now can make interest with the position you are holding if you've not sold. In this video, I'm going to go over whether you should sell, hold, or consider something else with your position on Dogecoin. If you have not gotten in, if you're considering getting out, I'll go over that as well. And also analyze what's going on with Dogecoin in its movement today, on Mother's Day, and what happened yesterday. Really surprising developing details. Again, it's shortly after 10 o'clock, and if you're in the live chat, jump right in. You're watching a live chart of Dogecoin right now. It's 51 cents, trying to push to 52 cents. But let's pull back and look at what it was doing throughout today, which is really quite interesting. Certainly, you've heard the discussions of what has happened since yesterday. But the day started shortly after midnight here in Los Angeles, and Doge was about 68 cents. It held in the 60 cents range from shortly about midnight here. And then over the next few hours, it pulled down to about 63 cents. Then it had a sharp pull up. There was a very sharp buy order that came in that brought it all the way up to 70 cents for just about 10 minutes. And then from there came a massive drop. There was a very big sharp drop right after that big order that brought it to 70 cents. And from there, it pulled down to 40. At one point, it dropped as low as 49 cents. Then came the buying again for a few hours. It had a series of ebbs and highs. It dropped as low as 43 cents earlier this morning and then started to rally. But the rallying in the last hour is really what's fascinating. If we pull out to a 1 hour chart, which would be from 9 o'clock Pacific Standard Time to 10 o'clock, you see that something kicked in about an hour ago. About an hour ago, it had reached a valley of 47 cents. Almost 48 cents. And then it had nearly a stellar straight up chart. It went as high as 50 cents, then pulled back, took another test down to 48. And then after that, it's been steadily going up. It's currently at 50 cents, just broke 50 cents seconds ago upon going on air. This incredible great news. Let me cut to the breaking news about Doge today. This is LALATE. If you've never tuned into this channel's now expanding its coverage into cryptocurrency and Doge as well. The major breaking news came in from Wall Street this Sunday as Gemini Earn has now announced that it will allow clients to join, it will allow customers to join Gemini and bring their current holdings of Doge over to Gemini and get 2.25% interest on their holding. Yes. Now, this is not novel, first of all. I'll go over why it's not novel, but it's incredibly important for purposes of Doge. It's incredibly important for purpose of cryptocurrency. And it would see why more people will get into Doge, more people will get into cryptocurrency, and that while critics said there was no extrinsic or intrinsic value, they've now been disproven completely incorrect. Well, let me explain what's at issue. You hold a coin. What do you do with it? You wait for it to go up and then sell. What can you do with it during the meantime? When you hold a security, like a stock, like a Ford or a Boeing, you may get a dividend, and that dividend comes quarterly. And then that dividend is the reason why you may hold it. But in the case of those stocks sometimes don't go up in much in value. So that's why you're holding a coin position, because it will have incredible growth to it. Well, let's say you don't have that particular growth over the next week or two. Guess what? You're going to get interest over the entire year. The Tyler and Cameron Winklevoss announced today that Gemini Earn will now provide you a 2.25% year-to-date return if you like a money market, if you bring your position over to Gemini. The statement released by Noel Pearlman, Gemini CEO, in a release today says, "We believe at Gemini that one of the most exciting things about cryptocurrency is empowering the individual, and Doge is a phenomenal example of that. The individual feels like Doge's money, question mark, then it is. We are here to help individuals acquire it, store it, and spend it in a safe, secure way." So what is the concept about it? The concept is that you bring it over, you have the position somewhere else, you bring it over, you put it there, and then you can get interest on your money. This is a hold lover's paradise. If you want to hold, you don't want to sell, but you also want to get interest on your money, bring it over. Now, you may be asking me, how do they calculate the interest? Is the interest based upon your initial purchase price, or is the interest based upon its inherent value at the time of its position? Probably its inherent time as position. Let's say you bought it at half a cent for a couple $100, and now it's worth $100,000. Can you get 2% interest on your $100,000? Absolutely. So, and again, that's year to date. So that does not mean on a monthly basis, it's year to date. So what else does the statement say? When you compare the rates that we're offering to what you can get in the traditional money market, a CD, it's up to 100 times more money. That's right. So this is really interesting. I mean, there's a lot in the story here. And this is why it's incredible great news for Doge, incredible great news for cryptocurrency. If you had $10 and you want to put in the bank and you want to get interest, you would get Zippo. The interest rates have been horrible for many, many years, and you can't get a lot of return. You can't get a nice CD. Remember years ago, your grandma would have a CD. I got a nice CD for you. I don't mean compact disc. And you couldn't get a lot of money for that CD. You could get a very nice return on that CD. Those days are long gone. Well, what Perlman's saying in the statement about Doge is that you bring Doge to us, we will give you a 2.25% return on your money by keeping it there. So it's incredible great news. It's incredible great news. Now, earlier I said to you it's not novel news. And why is it not? Because they're not the first to come up with this idea. Yeah, it sounds like that movie, doesn't it? That movie about Facebook. So, just joking. So the Peter Thiel blocked crypto company BlockFi does offer up to 8.6%. Oh my, 8.6% return on your crypto deposits. So you want to bring your crypto position over to them. They offer 8.6%. And then Binance says they can offer up to 20%. This is APY, which is annual percentage year to date. But here is something you need to consider. And this is why I'm here. This is why I go into more depth than you're going to hear anywhere else. This is why I try to give your learning curve a very sharp jump, is because Gemini says there's a difference between them and everyone else. What's the difference if their rate is lower? They say because they are the only regulated exchange in the United States where you can trade and earn interest in all 50 states. This is a big issue. This is a very big issue. Is the company where your money, where your Dogecoin is deposited, is it regulated in all 50 states? Are they an emittee or are they not? For example, in New York, it is denied BlockFi's right to offer interest accounts. Fascinating. So that is why, in a really well thought process, the Gemini Earn has really said, hey, we want to ensure that our Dogecoin customers get interest, and they get it everywhere, and it's regulated. And we're doing it exactly to the book. And that's how this channel works, exactly to the book. So let's go back into the chart and look at the chart right now, and let's see why this chart really took this really fascinating move in the last few hours. Now, what's important to understand is that announcements like this is critical to what we call extrinsic value. So Doge is currently at 50 cents, which is incredible great news. If we look at what it's done in the last 24 hours, the movement on Sunday today is great. It really is great. Let's pull out the chart to 24 hours, or at least my chart for 24 hours. And we certainly know going into Monday what broadcast news reports are going to say. That it took a 30% dive while Elon Musk was on Saturday Night Live. We got it. Dogecoin took a dive of 30 cents on while Elon Musk was on air. But how big of a dive was it? Ironically, it did not take the dive while he was on air. And I've always seen the broadcast report that's actually not correct reporting. Doge was down Saturday before Saturday Night Live aired. So there was profit taking, there was a whale coming in, there was a big movement out before the Saturday Night Live appearance. Here's what you need to know. Is that some people had looked at Doge going into Saturday in a very predictable manner. And the metrics did deliver on that predictability. Here's what people said. It's going to go up. People are going to try to get it to $1. They're going to try to get it to $1. It's not going to go to $1. It'll go up, but it won't get to $1. And then when it gets to its high, that's when you got to get out. You don't want to get out while the show's on. You want to get out ahead of time. It's going to take a dive, and then it's going to level out, and then it's going to go back up. And yeah, that's exactly what happened. I mean, it's really not too difficult to predict it. And then a lot of people, including myself, had said, and then people who wait too long to get out are going to have problems getting out as quickly as they want. A lot of the platforms may lock up. They may have difficulty getting out of their position as quickly as they want. And then they're going to be on social media complaining about the platform. They couldn't get out in a quick enough position. And that's certainly what happened. Very, very predictable. But what is not which is defying predictions, is really the news of these interest-bearing accounts, which I think are incredibly important. Let me explain why. Extrinsic value refers to a coin's ability to have a purpose besides what it internally does. An extrinsic value means that you can take that coin, give it to Gemini, and get a return on your investment. Get a return on your investment that is an interest-bearing return, that is regulated, that is authorized, that lands despite what happens in the Doge fluctuational price during that duration of the year. That's an extrinsic value. That's extrinsic value. And extrinsic value is often what people look at in the totality of an investment, not just inherent value, but not extrinsic value. And certainly what people were thinking what people were saying, no less than Friday, was that Dogecoin had no extrinsic value. One of the heads of the Bank of London said there's no extrinsic value to Doge. Now there is. Now there categorically is. If you look at the 1 hour chart, and if I could even pull in no less than, what is it? It's been so quick. It's been less than 30 minutes. It has made a substantial run from about 48 cents to 50 cents, which is pretty significant. But if I pull back further, the run was almost 47 and a half. Now, if we look at the week to date, of course, the week to date is really the most telling point. Back on May 3rd, we were at 39 cents. May 2nd, we were at 38 cents. May 2nd, we were pushing 38. There are a lot of people who got in last weekend at 25 cents. And now we're seeing that we are at 43 and 48, even 50. So anyone who even got in last Saturday has already doubled their money. And you got in at 25 cents last weekend, you've already doubled your money. But how about those people who got in earlier? And do you buy, do you sell, do you hold? Now you see why today's data is very good across the board, because today's data shows you that ultimately, despite the predictability, they're going to sell as soon as Elon Musk goes on air, and they're going to and the whale's going to come in and take the position. That it really didn't tank as big as a lot of people would have thought, or a lot of people had predicted. It did not pull back as much as people thought, and that we're now at 53 cents. So look at the chart. We're now at 53 cents. I went on air, I think, at 49 cents. So you see how the movement is very well validated. I have one friend of mine who bought it in a few months ago at less than a cent. I believe it was $800 put into it, which some would say was relatively aggressive at that point, and got out of the position yesterday with 6 figures. So went in at 3 figures. Can you imagine? 3 figures, which is $800. Got out at 6 figures. That was ultimately that person's decision. The person actually posted on social media, so it's not like I can't quote her. But that was her position, and that was her exit position. And that's ultimately what she decided was her best option across the board. Now, what's important to understand is that should you buy, should you sell, or should you hold? Here's my thought on the process is that now Doge has clear extrinsic value. So extrinsic value in being able to put in an interest-bearing account is incredibly important. And you have three options of interest-bearing accounts at least, one totally regulated. Then the other thing to consider, of course, is what anyone else would say to you, which is that Doge now is at number 4 of market cap. So here's what you need to know is that market cap is not the be all or end all. The market cap numbers have sort of moved dramatically in the last 24 hours. There were people yesterday on Saturday and people on Friday that said, let's have Doge take number 3 on market cap. It was not going to happen. It was not going to happen. That's wishful thinking. There are people thinking it was going to go to $1 on Saturday. Not happening. It's wishful thinking. But the fact that it's at fourth, it's number 4 at market cap, currently at 66 today, which is impressive. It was substantially higher yesterday and very, very close to Binance Coin yesterday. Very, very close. But now today, Binance Coin is double. It shows you how things change quickly. In less than 12 hours, Binance has now doubled in market cap in spread between it and Dogecoin. Shows you how things change very quickly. It shows you how things change very quickly. Binance Coin today is up about 1.5%, and it's trading at 660. Ethereum, its spread between it and the number 3 position is substantial. 455 versus 102. And then we dropped to Doge at 66. But Doge was up in the 90s. Doge was up in the 90s yesterday. So it shows you how market cap should really not be the indicator of your thought process. A lot of people have been certainly on social media talking about getting out of Dogecoin and getting into SafeMoon, which is a whole different type of mentality. It really is. When you have something that has an incredible market cap like Dogecoin does now, compared to SafeMoon that does not, it is different. It is different universes. SafeMoon at the moment, at least at the moment, could appear to some as something, if you have a couple $100 sitting around, just put it there. And if you're willing to gamble the couple $100 as a gamble, don't need that couple $100 back. It's sort of like, it's you're going to lend it to your cousin that never loans you the money back. Here you go. Here's $200. I don't expect to ever see it back from you because you never pay me back. Yeah, I still have my lawnmower. Here's $200. If you want to put $200 in SafeMoon, go ahead. Don't expect to get it back just anytime soon. But I would not put Dogecoin and SafeMoon in the same sentence. And I have seen some YouTubers put them in the same sentence. You should not be thinking out of Doge into SafeMoon. And you should absolutely, categorically, not take your profits from Dogecoin if you did sell and put them into SafeMoon. That's not good thinking. That is not good safe, guys. If you have taken profits on Dogecoin, then keep those by the side or go up. But don't go back. And don't put the entire kitchen sink back into SafeCoin. So, for example, let's say you did make 5 figures or 6 figures in a sell yesterday. What do you do with that money? I would not put 5 figures or 6 figures or 4 figures into SafeMoon. Absolutely not. You could put a couple $100. Now that you made 5 figures on Doge, you could certainly put a few $100 if you want to gamble it into SafeMoon for now. But let me go back to my holders. So my holders, I think you should be very happy. I think you should be ecstatic that this 53 cents at the moment is incredible great news. It really is incredible great news. And I think that what you now as a holder should do, despite whatever your initial basis is, whatever you bought it at, is that you should stay with me because I'm going to be delivering the news of what is growing the extrinsic value of Dogecoin going forward. As part of the Doge army, it's no longer just a chart. Dogecoin had been much of a chart along this time. It's going up, it's going up, it's going up. Okay, it's gone up. So then now we're at the issue of where is extrinsic value. It's not so much just a meme. It's now, what can I make money with this, and how can I make money with this? I saw one person yesterday. God bless him. He did incredible. I mean, he may have trended on YouTube, but the person said something that, maybe Amazon would take Doge transactions. I mean, no, that is not happening. It's not happening today. It's not happening this week. Not happening this month. But there's always a possibility in the horizon. But that's not something. That is like saying that all the Mercedes and the BMW is going to come out with electric cars tomorrow, because it's not going to happen. It will happen in some time. So let's go back and jump into the live chat. Let me see some of your questions you have right now. Oh, wow. There's a lot of people in here. So there's Canute. Hey, Canute, how are you? And there's Trish, and there's Gail, and there's Ryan. Do I put it in interest account? Ryan Party. Yeah, so if you're just joining me, let me tell you the big news from Gemini. Gemini Earn has announced that you can bring your Dogecoin position over to them, and they will give you an interest-bearing account that is fully regulated to buy, hold, sell, and receive interest from every state of this country. It is fully regulated in 50 states. It's incredible. I'm very impressed by the mindset of the twins, and I'm very impressed by them thinking, do it right, do it correctly, even though it may be a lower interest rate than other options. Their company, of course, is Gemini, or Gemini Earn, EARN. The competitors who are not regulated in all the states are BlockFi, BLOCKFI, and then there's a few others like that offer interest-bearing accounts, 7.4. Some offer 8.6, which is just incredible. And I think what you're going to see is that if one company sees that the twins can do it, then they'll certainly do it correctly. And then you may have a competition for interest rates. I mean, you may have a competition for business based upon interest rate, which could raise interest rates and then raise people into crypto positions like Dogecoin. It's incredible, great news across the board. Let me jump into the live chat and see some more of your questions. If you have any questions, drop them right now. I got in at 0.0 cents, y'all. Hello, Aliva Camp. So are you holding Aliva? Aliva got in at 0.0. Very good, Aliva. I assume you're still holding. So this is why you want to hold. If you're just tuning in, this is LALATE. I'm live on air. It's shortly after about 10:20 on the West Coast. And as a financial news channel, we have been covering crypto before, but we're really expanding our coverage extensively. There will be recordings throughout the day in which I'm live on air about Dogecoin, taped about Dogecoin or crypto. And then I'm doing something new on this channel because of the technologies. I'll be able to offer you live charts overnight where you can jump in. You'll clearly see I'm not in the picture-in-picture. I'm clearly not on camera. But you'll see a chart. You'll hear music. You'll see the chart of the moment, which at the moment, of course, is Doge. And you'll be able to interact and chat with one another and watch that chart overnight. And those videos may go on for a while, for a couple hours. So I think it's a lot of fun. Viewers love to chat on this channel, and I think it's an effective delivery of information and news. Let me cut back to the breaking news about what's going on with Doge. If you're just joining me in this big broadcast, and if you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. And if you have a crypto that you want me to cover, then tell me the coin that you want me to join in the discussion. David, I got in at 0.6 at 26 cents at 2,000 coins. So David, did you get in maybe about last Saturday? I would assume that probably been about Saturday. Where do you move your profits? Sharon, so that's a great question. So the Gemini story basically says you move the entire position. If you don't know what that means, let me explain. Let's say you're at E-Trade and you have 10 shares of Ford stock at E-Trade. You can transfer the 10 shares of stock at E-Trade of Ford over to Fidelity Investments or Charles Schwab or the company. So what you're doing here that they're offering is saying, hi, you have your Dogecoin at wherever. Let's say it's at Robinhood. You can move it from Robinhood over to our company, Gemini, and we will offer you interest on an annualized basis of over 2% for that position. You'll still have the position. You'll still have the same basis. No tax change of the burden. You'll just have your Dogecoin placed at another location. You're still holding. It's not a sell. So it's not a sell and a buy. Let me make it clear. When you just, it's called it's a transfer. You're transferring the position over to another place of holding. Happy Mother's Day. That was a great question. And so where do you move your profits? You wouldn't have profits because you haven't taken the profits. You would only have the profits until you sell the position. Let's check back into that chart right now because, boy, this chart is fascinating. Let's first look at market cap. So Doge on market cap, still it's at 66 compared to Binance Coin at 102. So it's still holding the number 4 position. They were within a 10. They were within about 10 spread yesterday. Now now Doge is nearly half the value of Binance. So the spread has substantially widened. But let's look at that chart. So that chart in the last hour is just very impressive. There was a stark rise up. If we pull back out, it dropped to a valley. I think there we are, 48 cents. And after about 48 cents, it was really almost smooth riding up. The highest we've gotten so far, I think today, is 53 and a half. Let me pull out. Since I've been on air, about 53 and a half. Yeah, and so now it's pulling back up. Now it's at 52.7. So very, very impressive. Very, very impressive. I don't think the whales would have thought it was going to come back at 53 cents today. I think the critics, I think the people who sold really thought it was going to fall to 33. I really think they thought it was going to fall to 33. If you look back at the 1 week chart, I think they thought it was going to drop back to May 2nd levels, which was 37 cents, 38 cents, even May 4th levels. I think they thought it was going to drop far below 40 cents. The fact that it's at 53 cents after the SNL appearance shows a lot of strength of positions across the board. And the big news, of course, if you just joined me, is those interest-bearing accounts now offered by Gemini to move your position over to Gemini and have your position interest-bearing, transactional-based, fully regulated, and authorized in all 50 states. It's incredible. It is absolutely very, very impressive. It is the extrinsic value that Doge has never had till now. It's incredible, great news, and it's probably the biggest news you're ever going to hear from Doge this weekend. So I'm very, very credible across the board. Beltranic says you can't transfer out from Robinhood. I don't know about that. There must be an issue about that. I will research that, so I appreciate that comment. Gail, happy birthday to everyone. Ron, can you please cover Cardano? Okay, I will cover Cardano today. Thank you, Ron, for that comment. And there you are. Thank you for joining me on this live recording at 28-minute mark. If you're just joining me, Doge took a fall on Saturday, as predicted, before Elon Musk's appearance on SNL. Broadcasters were reporting that incorrectly that Doge took a fall during his appearance. The profit taking occurred throughout the early part of Saturday. And then on Sunday, it started to rally. I'm live on air if you're watching me at 10:30 Pacific Standard Time. So the rallying has been very impressive in the last 2 hours. I'll be back more with Doge coverage later today. So stay with me. If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Also, like this video. And if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. Stay informed, stay focused. I'll be back with you a little bit, and stay with me. I'll have more stimulus coverage